Welcome into the Hot Corner for it must be a Tuesday, and baby, oh baby, this is a hot Tuesday.
Let's go! Stay inside and not go outside.
Patrick Harris, Joe Fisher with you as we always are on Tuesday. Schultze on the ones and twos. Schultze, I heard you on Dirt and Sprague this morning.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Apparently just showed up. Just Dirt walked in the studio, and there he was sitting in the one chair.
Well, that's how you do it. You know, you got to fight for your right.
He was just there.
I did say this on the show, the best ability is availability. I was more so referring to professional athletes, but I think that's true in this
If you
business
could
as well.
send that over to Royce Lewis for my fantasy team, that would be amazing.
Anthony Rendon, paging Anthony Rendon.
You know, I almost text you, Joe, today about can we start the show with me just blasting Anthony Rendon? And then I realized, you know what? Toxic environments are not worth my time. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort.
I saw a fun stat about him. We're getting really baseball right away, but the most games he's played in a season for the Anaheim Angels.
I believe the answer is around 50. I think it's 56.
The season that it happened, though. Do you know what season it was?
I believe it's 2021.
No, it was the COVID season.
Nice.
Where there was only
Well,
60 games.
I listened to a lot
For
of MLB.
God's sakes.
I listened to a lot of MLB radio, and like
that's
on
awesome.
my way into work, and you know those guys. I love it. There's a guy who like talks like that, like
Scott Farrell.
he's about to like cough every time. Like you're a smoker, dude. Like I was a smoker. I know smokers. And doing this job, I know, like, you're like, I just, Anthony Rendon's coming out tonight. and then he hits the cough button and goes,
Just dying.
But yeah, I know. I heard that. They were like, the most games he's ever done is like in the 50s. And I thought they said 2021, but I love that it's the COVID season. So it's like his most, from a percentage standpoint, full season he's done. Because if he did 50 games in the COVID season, he's probably like 85% of
Yeah,
games.
something like that. I think that's how math works.
That guy is such a loser. Such a loser.
Yes, he is quite embarrassing.
POS.
Yeah, again, very, very baseball-y right away.
I know. I don't like
He
that.
is woof.
I don't like that.
Hmm.
Hi, friends. I watched Canada, Argentina today.
Buddy, you'd be so proud of how much soccer I have watched.
Yeah,
over these
you
last-
jumping on board?
This last weekend, I believe Friday through Sunday. Sunday there weren't any games besides the Timbers game.
Which I went to.
Solid little game to
In
go to.
93 degrees. when I got
Solid
there.
little game to attend.
Solid little game to go.
7:30
Well,
PM.
the first half was great. The second half was just like, oh God, nothing happened. It was 4-0 Timbers at half.
That definitely sounds like something happened.
It was 4-0, and then Nashville got a red card, and I was like, this is so much fun. Like, we're sweating. We hate life. But goals are being scored, so we're high-fiving everybody. Everything's
Making out
awesome.
with people.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, wow, this second half is going to be so great. Final score, 4-1. And it's like nothing happened in the second half, and we were just like, oh, my God, can we leave now?
Maybe they got too hot as well. The players are all just like, both teams just like, all right, we're getting
Let's
out
just
here.
let's just get to the 90th and call this. Yeah, man, I'm Soccer Joe now.
Soccer Joe
Yeah.
in the house. Well, then who you got tomorrow, Colombia, Uruguay? Sorry, Uruguay.
Yeah, which we have determined the most fun Southern Central American country to say.
Without a doubt, Uruguay.
Uruguay. I'm gonna go to Colombia.
Yeah, you like a little James Rodriguez? You like a little Luis Diaz?
Is Jaime
Luis Diaz
Rodriguez?
plays for Liverpool, so you know I'm watching him. But Darwin Nunez on Uruguay.
That's true.
That's my boy, too.
Jaime Rodriguez was he not the Colombian player who had just a kick-ass World Cup
In 2014.
Yes, that's right.
And then he
was
signed
just
with then
on
he-
fire.
Then he signed with Barcelona and then realized that he played the same position as Leo Messi and never played,
Yeah,
and his
well.
career was terrible.
You know, can't really find the field when that happens.
Amazingly good-looking player. Just
Yeah,
a good-looking guy.
He's a striking
Like,
lad.
You look at him and you're like, "Phew."
Yeah, if this were
If
Moneyball,
Joe Fisher worked out, he'd look like that guy.
if this were Moneyball, they would have drafted him first overall. Remember those scouts? He's got that look. His girlfriend's hot. He's ready. He just needs the coaching.
He's got the coward quarterback face or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of coward, I'll just put my hat on backwards.
And screw
so
you,
No one can like take me seriously.
I do work out. I walk when I golf, okay? You know how many steps I
cart?
get in a day?
Carts are for losers.
Actually,
Walking is for
wrong.
closers.
Wrong.
Actually, I probably drive the cart way more than I should.
I actually don't want to golf. I just want to drive the cart.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one.
I'll sit there. You guys take your tee shots. I got a little bevy, and then I'm like, "Hey, you ready to go? All right, let's do it."
It's the one thing I can incentivize my son with to like, hey, I want to go golfing. I'm taking you with, and he's just like, oh, please no. Like I don't know. I'm like, hey,
You
once
can
we get
drive-
past the clubhouse, like at hole 3, 4, I'll let you drive the cart.
and he's like,
He's like, can you throw in a McDonald's trip after it? And
"You're the
we're-
best dad ever."
How about a Slurpee as well? He's a tough negotiator. I will say that.
Well, he's smart.
Shrewd.
I got to see him a couple weeks ago. I hadn't seen him in a little bit. He's a smart kid.
Oh, dude! And speaking of him and soccer, I'm about to become a travel team dad.
Oh my God, Joe!
Yeah, I'm already like somewhat like
You need to
oh
go to the
boy,
bank.
What have I gotten myself into?
Joe, I think you need to go to the bank. If you're about to be a travel soccer dad, you need to go to the bank and get a book of checks
Get a loan?
just so you are able to write money at any moment.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like American travel baseball kids. Like when you look at Bryce Harper, when you look at Mike Trout, it's like, yeah, your parents got money, huh?
Rich kid.
And then you look at the Dominican kids and they're like Frankie Lindor and Javi Baez. They came from nothing Puerto Rico because their parents couldn't do anything. But in America, it's like, write that check. My kid might be good.
well, I will say the kid was fortunate enough to let the coach just be like, dude, we'll take care of him.
Ooh, really?
Yes. So I don't know how many seasons that's going to go on for, but I'm going to, this year I was just like, listen, dude, Price is a non-starter to be on the travel team. He's like, we'll take care of him. We got him.
Well,
I am going to have to pay for the kits.
sure.
And
Well,
then,
Kits aren't bad.
That's nothing
no, it's like $100 and something bucks.
compared to what it could be. That's
Well,
yes,
I'm
exactly.
I'm real excited when Joe Fisher IV is on Team USA in 10 years.
oh, dear God, please.
I can tell all my friends that I know Joe Fisher II.
yeah. You better get me to
Joe
like,
Fisher II is one of my favorite human beings ever. Yeah, Joe III. Yeah, Joe III. Yeah, whatever.
Medium Joe's cool as well, but
No, get me to a game and get like a few cards signed for me, just like when this does happen in like 10, 15
I'm going to
years.
have a sign at the World Cup in 2045 that says Medium Joe.
Hell
I know your grandpa. And
You'll
just
know.
skip over his dad. Because his dad's a little rough, but his grandpa, love him. Love Joe Fisher II.
he's solid company.
Joe
Solid guy.
Fisher II, I'll get him an 18 of Coors, and we're going to get after it.
You know how solid he is we're going camping this weekend, me and the entire family,
Oh,
right?
can I come?
I mean, if you want to make the trip, you're more than welcome.
Where
My
you
sister
going?
invited like 50 people.
Oh, God, I would come, and I would just be like,
It's not actually 50, but like
I would-
20 something.
I would go to that camping trip and just be the Joe Fisher II handler. Like, I would just stand by him and be like, yo, Pops, what do you need?
like a personal
What do you-
assistant.
You need a beer? Got it. Oh, I'm about to cook burgers. We're about to
Oh, no.
cook some meat. I'll be like, I'll get it out of the cooler.
See, here's the thing.
I'll be his personal assistant.
This is why he's clutch. Is that me and him? We have to partner up for dinner on Saturday. So everybody like takes a meal, right? Like this person's got breakfast on Sunday.
Been
this
there, done
person's
that.
got
Yep.
dinner on this night. So me and him, we're taking care of dinner on Saturday. Last year we did ribs. So like,
Sounds like a Joe Fish 2 favorite thing
oh,
to do.
trust me. And I was like, yeah, I'm right there with you, man. We'll both do some ribs. And it was a lot of, you got this? Okay, I'm going to go down to the river and I'm going to go chill for a couple minutes. I'll come back and check on you.
I love
And he
that,
is
man.
just sweating over the fire. And he was like, oh, fine. It's all good. It's all good. So this year he was, a few weeks ago, he's like, let's just do some burgers and dogs. And I was
showing
like,
his age a little bit there.
and I was like, dude, that's fine because there's like, I think 5 or 10 more people coming this year than last. So we wanted to kind of make it expedite a little bit quicker.
yeah, because you can do that quicker. Ribs take longer.
And I was like, dude, that's fine. I was like, I'm pretty sure someone's doing hot dogs on Thursday night though. Because some people are going Thursday. I'm going on Friday after the Fan Golf Classic. And I was like, I think someone's doing dogs on Thursday. So then he calls me the other day. He's like, you know what? I just said F it. Let's do some ribs.
Oh,
And I was like,
He
are you
pivoted.
sure? And
He
I
pivoted.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I got a couple racks. If you can grab a couple, he's like, we'll do the same thing as last year. I'll manage them and I'll, be by the fire. And then you can check in every half hour and go by the river and hang out. I'm like, well,
What,
Yeah,
what, what
probably
kind,
an hour,
what kind of
maybe.
ribs are you doing? Are you doing St. Louis? You doing pork? Are you doing? I just want to know what kind of ribs you're doing here.
beef ribs. Beef ribs are amazing.
yeah, we will not be doing beef ribs because those things are just those dino ribs. Those are gigantic.
Yes.
And
There's a little pork baby.
again, we need baby backs. Just
love
something
it. Gotcha.
quick. We can run through those things. We can cook like 4 or 5. I think we might do like 5 or 6 racks.
It's an A-bomb from A-Rod.
I love it. I
And
love
it's
it.
going to be over charcoal and
I can't wait to eat them.
The campfire and my dad also bought like 3 or 4 crawfish traps because we're gonna put them down in the river and then catch some crawfish and boil those
Getting
salt
higgy
mixes
with
up,
it.
and then butter them up, garlic them up, and hopefully we catch like 100 because those things are tiny. Not a lot of meat on those things.
Not related. Just thought that'd be fun.
I was gonna say we might have to mark that.
Tastes like chicken.
Yes.
What?
But I am stoked for the weekend. It's gonna be a solid Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I'm
We got
jealous.
Fan
I'm
Golf
jealous.
Classic and then camping right after.
I'm jealous. I had the Fam Golf Classic on my calendar. I was gonna go out there. Me and Will Ortner were gonna do real stupid things. But I have to go to rehearsal dinner because one of the homeboys is getting married on Friday.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm going to a wedding on Friday.
I know,
He's one of my
but
best friends in the world.
Why is he not getting married on Saturday and then you have the rehearsal deal on Friday?
Yeah.
Dates, bro. Availability.
Yeah,
I know.
dude.
Saturday was
dude,
probably
Joe,
already booked.
you and I are poor, therefore we have poor friends.
Trust me, I know how the whole
Friday's
wedding
not
scene-
cheap though.
Weddings
Anywhere.
aren't cheap.
Cheaper than Saturday.
Weddings aren't cheap regardless of the day of the week.
Same
having
rate
a,
at the
I'm
venue
having
that I
a,
went to.
a Wednesday wedding. That will probably knock it down a few bucks.
They don't offer Wednesday weddings.
Well,
They
I'm gonna
just
make
don't.
it happen.
They do.
You can put it on the board.
I think we've got a great weekend coming up. Plus, I've got a huge moment going on. I leave Tuesday next week. I will not be here next week.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're bailing.
I leave Tuesday next week because I am taking my wonderful children to Disneyland.
Oh hell
Yes.
yeah. Dude,
I
very
looked at the weather today because of how crappy outside is right now. My first day in the park in Anaheim is a high of 79.
Oh, that
Hell
just
yeah.
sounds like heaven, bro.
Hell yeah, brother.
96 right now outside, by the way, still.
Let's go.
And I know we got a break, but I don't know about you guys. I have spent as little time as possible outdoors over basically since 4th of July.
It's terrible. I've been in the pub since
Hell yeah.
July 5th every day, and it's like 82 degrees inside.
No.
Ooh, are
No.
people coming in still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Friday through today, nothing outside.
We got a rooftop patio,
Oh, that rooftop patio.
and
is
you
pretty
go
fun.
up there, man, and it's outside.
I snuck off to Seaside. So.
You walk up the stairs, so the stairs go up, and then you take a little hitch, and then you turn, and then you go up a second flight. And once you turn at that little hitch, temperature goes up by about 20 degrees. And you walk out there, and you're like, "Hi, here's this pizza.
You need
Do
ice.
you need
to
anything
get ice.
else?" And they're like, "Can I get a water?" And I'm like, "Go away." Oh God, I'm dying.
You need to get iced. Is what you need. That'll
Oh.
cool you down.
Oakley dokley. Well, we got a baseball show for you. We are on the eve of the All-Star game. I can't wait to watch it. I'll watch it in sunny Anaheim when I get back to the house, courtesy of my streaming service that I use. But as we lead into that, we got a lot to get to. It's selections, snubs, home run derby. Also, we'd like to get into, is this team that I bet on and ripped up a ticket because they look so good, are they bad now? Plus, we can also look at one of the funnest things in baseball. Name that crappy owner. Because
I'm down
they're
for it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere in baseball.
Hell, do it in all sports.
But we got one for the books. When we come back, let's dive straight into the home run derby. Participants, new rules, and everything. We'll do that next. The Hot Corner. Portland Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
The afternoon round
7:20 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. There's the Vancouver Ford text line. All texts of the fan are via the Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They shoot you right before, during, after the sale. Visit vancouverford.com. That's 503-864-6326. Coming up, we'll dive into All-Star snubs, All-Star selections, and why it shocks me but doesn't shock me in any way, shape, or form that a division leader has one participant. So we're heavy All-Star this hour. Coming up in the second hour, we'll get into crappy ownership, plus is this team that I ripped up a gambling ticket for, are they actually bad, and do I regret that?
Are you taping it back together? Are you shuffling through the garbage trying to find the pieces? Like I did at A 2 years ago.
I think that is long gone, so I can't believe for the first time in my life I might be rooting for them to win games. But let's start here in the home run derby. Now I got to ask a question to you guys.
No.
I don't want to go through the new rules this year because I feel like
Well, we already did like a week or so ago.
I know, but so I don't want to do it again. But I also feel like the home run derby is slightly bordering on pass interference rules that every year it changes, that I can't keep up with it. So I just watch and you tell me what it is.
You're right. They explain it as it's happening.
Yeah.
By the way, new rule change
And
this
I'm like,
year.
okay, I will learn as you explain while it happens. So there's new home run derby rules. We don't have the entire field yet. But
we have everyone but like one or two players.
yeah, I think we're missing one
We're
or
getting
two.
close.
These are who we have right now. We have hot shot shortstop for the Orioles, Gunnar
and
Henderson.
future winner of the home run derby.
We have a two-time champion in Pete the Polar Bear Alonso,
Who doesn't care about anything other than winning the home run derby.
and potentially being traded from the Mets.
No, doesn't care about that either. Literally just the home run derby.
No, he just hits dingers.
That's the only thing.
We have Alec Boehm from the Phillies.
Or it could be Alec Baum.
Ooh.
I do hate when you figure out you've been saying, like, he never corrected you and the whole media has been saying it wrong for 5 years.
Yeah, like
Non si può parlo.
like
Mike Stanton.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I know Mike Stanton.
Good old Mike.
Rashad Taylor, who I called Rashad Evans for about 3 years.
I think it was just on one show.
Hell, man.
I think it was when you were doing that remote show for the fantasy football draft party.
I was like, Rashad Evans in the house. And they were like, the 7-footer that strokes it?
No, they're a UFC fighter. What the hell?
Whoa!
What's he doing there?
Look who we've spotted.
We'll take the kid and Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals.
Cool.
And Marcel Ozuna, who hits baseballs like he hits women. And
Not cool.
Not cool. And the leader of RBIs that might set records this year, my personal favorite here, Jose Ramirez.
On your favorite team.
Anderson! Down goes Anderson!
On my favorite team.
Switch hitter, so we could have ourselves another Adley moment here.
Dude.
I hope he does it. I hope he starts lefty and then switches to the right.
I hope he does too, but part of me also hope he doesn't because that Adley moment was so rad. And I don't want it to be something that everybody does, so you like minimize somebody that started it.
Hey, listen.
When Adley did that last year, and he hit like every pitch that came to him from the left side, he yacked out of the park.
Listen,
It was so amazing.
do you think I want him to take that moment away from Adley? No. But it would be cool if he did it again, like 2 years in a row. If he's like, I'm switching to the right, and he himself hit like 8 in a row from the right side of the play, I'd be like, dude, this is awesome.
It was amazing. So, yes, if Jose does that, I would absolutely love it. Is there anybody on this, format aside, the format will play itself out. I don't want to get into that again. Is there anybody in here that you really like for it? Pete Alonso's got to be the Vegas favorite, right? He's won 2 of them. He knows what he's doing there. Rules aside, is there anybody on this list that you think could honestly challenge Pete Alonso for this home run
And
crown.
now I'm curious if, I mean, because they don't have the full field release, if you can bet on
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not
home
sure
run
they've released
derby stuff
2023
right
odds yet.
now.
Can you bet on other?
Yeah, like take the field.
Take the field.
So how many guys is that though? Just
Let's
curious.
see.
That's
Jose's
six.
one.
So we need two more.
Marcel's 2.
Bohm, Alonso, Witt,
Witt,
Henderson.
3.
Yeah, 6.
Bohm 4. Alonso 5. Gunner 6. So we're waiting on 2 more.
I mean, come on. You know who I like in this. You know who I'm rooting for in this.
Cal Raleigh.
Oh, if Big Dumper is in there,
He
Hell
might.
no.
He might actually win, but he just can't
Stop.
hit for average.
Stop.
What, he hits home? He hits dingers. He just can't hit for average.
Joe, I know you're going to like Gunner.
yes.
And I actually kind of like Gunner too because I think he is the best contact hitter of everybody there. But is he enough to get Pete? I mean, Pete's the kind of guy that's like, I hit dingers.
Yeah, but also I don't want Pete Alonso to win it. Like I appreciate his passion and his enthusiasm for participating in the home run derby until he literally cannot play anymore.
I believe he would be the first ever 3-time winner.
Well, okay, you've had your moment, all right? Go away. Like that at this point I want to see different players. If he did win it, you know, cool, whatever. First 3-time winner, awesome. But when you participate in it every single year, when you've been in it for the last 14 years, then it doesn't really matter how many you've won. And quite frankly, just looking at the field as it is right now, I would like to see Jose Ramirez win it outside of Gunnar Henderson, just for the sense of this is before the season we were talking about. I mean, we knew how great Jose Ramirez was, but his peers voted him as one of the most underrated players in the league. He's having an amazing year. He might lead the league in RBIs. That's if Judge continues his slump. And I think it would just be one of those moments for him in his career that it's like, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm one of the best players in the league, and don't forget my name. Don't forget who I am. And the whole underrated title will have another reason to not be true.
Yeah, I didn't think about this. Like I was looking at it and kind of going like, I mean, I'm thinking like Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, you know. I'm like, give me one of these young, especially shortstops. Give me one of these, you know, I dream of the days of Nomar, A-Rod, Tejada, Jeter. Like that's what we grew up with. I always dream of another shortstop battle. So I instantly go to Gunnar and Bobby for that. But I think you're onto something there, Joe. How big is the Pete Alonso star? Is the Pete Alonso star bigger than it actually should be? Like, what if the Mets decide to trade and you can get Pete Alonso, doesn't he cost more than he probably should?
Probably just
Because of his star.
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean,
a lot of home runs.
Now, is his star not bigger because A, he's in New York, but B, he's won 2 home run derbies?
I think I mean, listen, doing a home run derby definitely helps people know who you are, gets your name out there more. You do multiple home run derbies, you win multiple home run derbies. That's great, but also it's a game, like it's a contest to see how many home runs you can hit. You've heard many times over the years why guys don't want to do it because it messes with their swing.
Bobby Abreu is the number one.
It's like literally
Bobby Abreu's a stat chaser.
it's
Won
gimmicky.
a home run derby and then was terrible afterwards.
Yeah, I just remember one year he had like 99 RBIs, and he's like, I got to get 100, I got to get 100. And that's all he heard about for the last week.
But I think I'm with you, Joe. I think if Jose Ramirez were to walk through this home run derby and win it, it might be the last catalyst to get the average fan to know who he is.
She's like, dude, this guy's good. Because then
Cleveland's the scariest team in baseball right now. If the playoffs start right now, yeah, I don't want to play the Yanks. I don't want to play the Orioles. I don't want to play the Braves. I don't want to play the Phillies. I don't want to play the Dodgers. But you're like, wow, I missed all them. I get the Guardians. You're like, oh, hell.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to like rank the 6 of least to first of as far as who I want to see win it, Marcell Ozuna dead last.
Dead last.
I'd probably go Pete Alonso second to last on that.
Might be, yeah, because we've seen him do it a couple times. And I love the polar bear. Polar bear is my favorite animal.
Alec Boehm, I would probably put third on this list.
I'm more of a Bryson Stott guy.
And then I'm going Bobby Witt third, Jose Ramirez second, and Gunnar
your boy
Henderson
Gunnar.
first. Because
And I
Bobby,
think the average, to take away from your fandom not hating on you, I think the average would swap it.
Yeah.
But you want Gunnar because and
course you
honestly, if Gunnar wins, I love Gunnar.
and I think Bobby Witt is such an electrifying player that him winning it and rising to his star in the league as well
Yeah.
with a home run derby championship, I think that would be awesome as well.
Not trying to burst your bubble on the Jose Ramirez inclusion, but
But here I go bursting.
But
your
here
bubble.
I go,
but
burst your
I'm
bubble.
about to. I'd love to see.
You
him
know, I don't want to
included.
sound racist. Enter racism.
Yeah, exactly.
comment.
But, and not the racism, it's something bad about Jose Ramirez, but not really that bad. I don't remember. This is his first home run derby, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And I would assume that these numbers are a little bit boosted by that new left field, or excuse me, that right field wind tunnel that's kind of getting a lot of home runs out for a lot of those Guardians, excuse me. So essentially numbers not just for Ramirez, but the entire team increasing across the board for home runs. I wonder if that's going to vault him into this contest. Or what did, and I kind of wonder if he's actually going to be competitive. I'd like to see one of the young shortstops. I mean, I was in on Julio when he was in it. I understand why Joe wants Gunnar to win it. I'd love to see him or Bobby Witt Jr. win it. Those two having just like a 40 home run round each against each other, be insane to see.
Well, I think what's interesting about Jose, and we'll get out on this because I don't want to spend too much time on it. I think what's interesting with Jose Ramirez is that he's not a home run hitter. He is a pure hitter. Like, he hits the pitches that come to him. So if it's down and away, he can bloop that into the gap and get a double. If it comes over the plate, he's going to hit that to left or right, depending on the side that he's hitting on.
Yeah.
He is the kind of guy that's like, I hit singles, I hit doubles. He's like we always say about the Astros. Jose Ramirez is death by 1,000 cuts. And if you throw meat over the plate, he's going to knock it to the outfield. But if it's kind of down and away or inside, he's going to turn on it or pull it, push it, whatever he needs to do and drop it where someone ain't. So I think that, to Jordan, to your credit, I think that's what makes Jose probably Vegas-wise a hard pick. But from a player-wise, I'm rooting for Jose.
And last part here, and I know that we already have a Cleveland Guardian in it, but if there is one player that I want included in this home run derby as one of the last participants, Josh Naylor.
Shohei. Oh, Josh Naylor.
Dude, please have Josh Naylor.
Well,
there.
I want Josh.
He would be so much fun.
I want Josh Naylor to hit the home run derby winning home run, and take his helmet off and throw it at the guy who threw him the ball and knock him out cold.
Dude, I want to see him out there because if he does anything good, makes it past the first round, his celebration, he will freak the F out.
He will freak out.
Dude, it will be great.
I could see him run around the bases after he hit his game winning.
Rip his shirt off.
Rip his shirt off, throw the bat, and then
do the truffle shuffle,
and
something
then
like that.
have a
Yeah.
160 batting average for the rest of the season. But he was it was worth it.
No, he's not a Mariner. There were off-season rumors that the Mariners wanted Josh Naylor, but no, since he is on Cleveland's team still, he will be fine.
Well, maybe he could be Jazz Chisholm. Who knows? All right, when we come back, let's get into the All-Star. We got selections. We got players. Anybody you see on this that you don't like, anybody you want to give some love to, open on your All-Stars for the 2024 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We'll do that next, but first, there's Schultze with sports.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, breaking news out of the Dominican Republic tonight. Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco has been formally charged with sexual abuse and exploitation against a minor. He's been on administrative leave since the allegations became public in August of 2023. No word yet from the Tampa Bay Rays on the arrest. Moving on to the games currently in progress right now. At least one for the Seattle Mariners in San Diego for a 2-game set. Trying to basically call it a get-right series for them. Middle four, they are up 4-0 over the Padres thanks to a 2-run bomb from Cal Raleigh and a couple of RBIs, one from Julio Rodriguez with an RBI single and the other one, Ty France, with an RBI double. Once again, going into bottom four, M's lead the Padres 4-0. In soccer, Argentina beating Canada 2-0 in their Copa America semifinal matchup. They're now awaiting the winner of Uruguay and Colombia tomorrow. And Spain downing France 2-1 in their Euro Championship semifinals. They're going to be facing off against the Netherlands or England. The matchup tomorrow at noon. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
It's coming, The Fan at Big Ten Media Day with the coaches and players you want to hear. July 23rd through the 25th.
Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have fair or foul at the bottom like we always do. Plus, we'll touch on, does this team that I bet on to lose that started to win a lot, are they sucky?
Are they straight cheeks, bro?
Plus a check-in on crappy owners, which we love to do in sports. But we're here with the All-Star game that will be, that will be on Tuesday.
A week from now.
That I will record and watch from Anaheim. I will watch it late at night, so don't text me, okay?
I won't. Have you ever been to their stadium in Anaheim?
No, I actually looked into it because we have Disneyland on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we're staying in Anaheim on Saturday before coming home on Sunday. And I was just, you're Disneyland, so your pocketbook is gone anyway. So what's like 5 people's outfield seats? They're out of town.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I think you literally just ran into the problem with me going to Arizona in September. I'm going there for 5 days, and they will be out of town the entire time.
The worst part is I think they're in Oakland.
God, yeah, that is even worse.
They might as well just tell the A's, you know what, you're just gonna come down here.
I think the Doyers are in town if I looked at it, but driving from Anaheim to LA on Saturday, traffic was a hard pass.
The Angels Stadium, I remember going to in 2010. I mean, they got some really big hats outside the stadium, which are kind of cool, like the big Angels hats. And they, it's funny because they actually have the actual sizing, the new era size of the giant metal hats that are outside the stadium.
Oh yeah,
And they say that they're like 734 and 5/8 or something like that.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty funny.
the true new era hat size.
Yes, exactly.
7.5, guilty as charged. Wearing
7
one
and a
right
quarter
now.
right here.
7.5, 7.375. It
Depends
varies
on your hair.
It varies on the hair, the hat. If the sweat has shrunk it down, the moisture a little bit.
I
so.
did, yeah, with the chubby and high school like shaggy hair. It was a 7 3/8.
My friends, I look at you and all these people, we love to snubs and blah, blah, blah. But let's be positive here. Is there anybody you saw that made the All-Star game this year that you kind of just looked at and went, you know what? Good for you.
Good for
I'm
that
so
guy.
happy to see that you made it. Is there anybody for you guys that you look at and say, yeah, I'm fully in on this?
Just looking across the rosters and everything. 1, 2, 3, 4 Baltimore players that I'm happy for. Honestly, I will say I'm glad Jordan Westberg made it.
You should. I think that's a real thing.
And I know he's a sub in for Devers, but still,
And bias aside, I think that's a great thing to say.
he's had a great year. I think I saw that he's like, God, what's the stat? WPA, like winning percentage added or winning. I forget the stat, but he's top 10. I'll find it. But he's been fantastic for Baltimore. So when I saw that he was the reserve sub for Devers, I was like, dude, good for you, because you've been absolutely crushing it this year.
Yeah.
Outside of him, I like to see Stephen Kwan. Obviously, he was a starter.
Yeah.
That was kind of a shoe-in
That's
for
a great,
him.
but it's still a great story as a starter, especially in an American league. Like, he's starting next to Aaron Judge and Juan Soto.
Yeah, it's
Huge.
Like, that's pretty great. Mike Trout is usually the third of that dynamic.
Yeah. I would also say that on the NL side, it's exciting seeing Ellie De La Cruz make it.
Of course.
I mean, I think that's
Future of baseball guys. It's like Bobby Witt in the American League. Like,
Yeah.
get him in.
Yes, exactly. So having him play in that game and getting voted in, that's great. Paul Skeens, I think that is an amazing story with his rookie year. He's
Give me
already one of
something
the
fun.
best players in the MLB. I would say those are the ones that pop off the page for me, because I know that someone from every team has to make it, and we'll get into that here in a bit. Shota is having a great year. Him getting in there, I mean, that was one of those automatic ones that he definitely should be there.
Imanaga's been. I mean, he's struggled a little bit as of late, but he has
cares?
been so fun this year.
Now that I'm looking at it as far as reserves
I
goes,
believe called Rookie of the Year in the National League. Right
ooh.
here, this guy.
and again, I know that every team gets one player, but C.J. Abrams for Washington has been amazing for them.
Yeah,
So,
I kind of live.
happy that he was able to get in there.
I kind of live in a little bit of world with you, Joe. One of my biggest jazz that I'm about is Seth Lugo in the American League.
Really, he's on my downer list, but okay.
I think Seth Lugo, he is not a flashy pitcher, but he was part of that New York future nucleus of Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard,
Yep.
Wheeler, and Lugo. That was supposed to be the future. And Lugo was the one that actually, now I know Harvey and Syndergaard kind of panned out a little bit, but Lugo was the one left for dead. He went on a bunch of different teams. He's been really good for a Kansas City team that is, as I predicted, better than most people thought. And I am really jazzed that he's there. His strikeout rate isn't high. However, he's just been getting it done. He throws 6 innings, gets a quality start, and leaves it to a bullpen that they spent a ton of money on. Seth Lugo is one of my big guys. My other guy is honestly, to Joe's point, as he was talking about with the Nationals, like everybody's got to get somebody in. It's Ryan McMahon in Colorado. That team is super bad. That team is super bad. He has been great.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his contract status is, but I have to think at the deadline, if there is somebody that really needs an infielder, he could be had and maybe had on the cheap.
Seattle.
He'd probably strike out 200 times.
Shut up.
Showing up in July.
They need him bad.
But
and
I
probably
just,
want a
you know,
tough-
like
tough
what
prospect to acquire him.
like what Joe was saying, like somebody that I want to give some love to. He said C.J. Abrams. I'm gonna say Ryan McMahon. Like I think he's been really good, and I'm happy he'll be the only Rocky there. But I'm happy that he's there, and there's a good chance that he goes in because he's a true second baseman. Luis Ariz ain't going in at second base.
Well, you got to wonder how Elias Diaz is feeling for the Rockies. I'm sure
One
he's
of the
happy.
better-
I'm sure he's happy for his teammate, but also like,
Dude,
that
he's
son of a bitch.
He's an all-star MVP. I think he's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody for me that stuck out was Chris Sale. I know what this is like 7th or 8th All-Star selection.
It's true.
But after that rebound,
His career was dead.
exactly after that rebound following the Boston, it wasn't even that bad, but it was just a crappy, tumultuous locker room time for him, and then subpar results on the field. Good to see him actually getting back to it. And among the first years, I mean, God, there are literally so many guys that are
So many first years, and it's really fun. I'll point out, I don't know if you're going to say this, mad love to David Fry.
Yeah.
Mad love to David Fry for Cleveland.
He's-
Love that he made it.
He's really good. It's nice to see Cleveland getting multiple representatives as they should. Garrett Crochet for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Every team needs a rep, but he is deserving.
He is truly, he is the only thing that's good about that maybe worst team I've ever seen in my life.
Garrett Crochet, future Oriole.
Maybe. I don't know. Do you have enough to give up at this
Future
point? You
Dodger.
get Jackson Holiday for.
Do we
Crochet.
have
Can you do
enough,
it? No,
buddy?
do you do Crochet for Holiday straight up?
No.
No.
See, that's why I'm
Holiday's
asking.
too
Do you
important.
have enough to give up? Because
Yes, we have like 80 dudes in the minors that we can give
Holiday
up
is
besides
untouchable.
Holiday. Yeah.
Holiday is
Okay.
untouchable.
And then my last guy, Cole Reagans. I think the other Kansas City inclusion on the pitching
Kansas
side.
City is good this year.
No, their starting pitching
I like
is
what they're
sneaky
building.
good. Sneaky good. And then
They
the
were good.
sleeper Kirby Yates. Like, I know he's having a great run in Texas, but got 38, 39-year-old guy. Like, I guess it's nice to see the reward for him. But
I saw Kirby Yates on this list, and I was like, he's still in the league.
exactly. Yeah, that was kind of like a throwaway name for me. But good for you. Just I guess. you're
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
on
really fun. Well, I got a question to ask. Have you ever seen a team in first place have one all-star starter? We'll get to that next. The Hot Corner, Portland sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
It's The Fan on demand.
They're kind of fun to play with, aren't they?
Now, fan podcasts are better
Coming up in the second hour of the Hot Corner, we'll get into is this really good team actually not very good? And owner watch, who's the worst owner in baseball? Well, we got a new contender, as we always do, plus fair or foul at the bottom of the hour. We're talking about the All-Star break, and that will be next week. The game, Home Run Derby on Monday, the game on Tuesday. I'm sure we'll have the Futures game, I believe, is on Sunday, and the stupid celebrity thing will be earlier than that. I don't know.
I used to love watching the celebrity game.
Yeah, me too. And now it's like Kevin Hart and a bunch of people, and Jenny Finch and a bunch of people I've never heard of.
JoJo Siwa. It's like, who?
Yeah. I don't care. So make sure to tune in to that as baseball takes a little hiatus for the Midsummer Classic. We talked about guys that we were excited to get on the All-Star game, and I do want to talk about this, but open it up for a larger, because it's actually, I have somebody that I'm upset with that didn't make the list, that is not a part of this team. But guys, have you ever seen a team leading their division in first place at the All-Star break have one selection?
Quite
Have you ever seen that?
I mean, I can't really think
The Guardians got people, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Phillies. Some of it's star power. You know, if the Dodgers are in the last place, Shohei's getting in. You know, like Mookie's getting in even though he's hurt. Like, there are some of those exceptions. But I give you our Seattle Mariners, who have one representative currently in Logan Gilbert, who I would argue should probably start the All-Star game for the American League.
Honestly, yank him. We really don't need any Mariners this year. That whole team is
But-
just they don't deserve it.
However, I agree.
Shut up.
I agree. But George Kirby's been pretty good this year, and the big one is Munoz. I saw a comparison. Clay Holmes, the closer for the Yankees, is in this All-Star game, and I guarantee you Bochy's going to look at him as the closer. When you put Clay Holmes' numbers up against Munoz, Munoz blows him out in every statistic.
And Munoz has had harder save situations because the Mariners.
Because he plays for a crappy team.
Yeah, they're so crappy. He's had to come in and save, like, it's not just an inning, it's 1.1, 1.2 inning save situations. It's not easy.
Is it like a West Coast bias, or do we think we know that the Mariners quite frankly, are just not good?
Well, I mean, what hitters are you going to have?
Yeah, exactly.
True.
So,
But Stanek's been good.
Nah, but not good enough. Actually, he's kind of had to fill the closer role a little bit with Munoz kind of stepping back and forth.
And
There's been a
Caging George Kirby.
couple of times where Stanek got blown up, and I believe Kirby's kind of having a down year too.
and then you got what? 8 starting pitchers, 4 relievers that you can have on
George
a
Kirby or
roster.
Tyler Anderson?
Only got to have
At
one.
this point, it's Tyler Anderson because Kirby, maybe not a down year, but the Mariners.
Well, what
have
hitter
each,
for the Angels are you going to have on
That's
there?
true. The Mariners have each.
Oh, Hoppy.
When it comes to Luis,
Catchers, baby.
Yeah.
Catchers, baby.
Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, even, but his numbers don't really reflect this. George Kirby have all each gotten blown up at least twice this year.
I just think it's wild. Okay, I was driving in today listening to MLB Network on the radio. Okay, and they were talking about rank the 6 division leaders, who you have the most confidence in, and both of them were flip-flopping Milwaukee and Cleveland. And I sat there and listened to it. Now, the other 3 are Baltimore, Philly, and the Dodgers. So I understand that. But they're flip-flopping Cleveland and the Brewers. And I'm like, that is so much disrespect to what Cleveland's doing right now. That's the best bullpen in baseball. Jose Ramirez is going to be a top 5 MVP voter. Kwan is starting.
They were saying
So is Jose. Clase is the closer in the American League.
they were saying those 2 teams they have the least faith in.
Yeah.
Okay, they clearly go to bed at 7:00 Eastern time. then.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is 4:00 Western time.
No, I did watch Mariners games living on the East Coast. A 10-10 first pitch start on a Wednesday
well,
night.
I
is
would expect you
not
to.
very easy.
I
No,
don't-
exactly.
You know, I don't.
Not easy,
you know,
though.
I wouldn't think you would go call it an early night when you got the Mariners on TV. Also, another reason why West Coast sports viewing is superior.
Well, let's be real quick then. Is there anybody that you see that hasn't made the All-Star team yet? We'll have some dropouts. Munoz, I think, is going to get in. Somebody's going to drop out, and they'll get Munoz in. Is there anybody that you have seen that's not in that you really wanted to see in?
Oh God, I would have to. I mean, again, I think just players overall. I think Josh Naylor was having a great season. The average isn't there, but I think as far as hitting goes at
And
first
what
base,
he means to Cleveland.
yeah. I'm bummed that I don't see him on the AL roster.
Funny, I'll stick with you at first base, but I'll slide over to the National League. I'm going to go with Christian Walker. The Diamondbacks have not been good this year. They are clearly in a World Series hangover. I'm watching the Diamondbacks and the Braves right now. Gallen's been hit a little bit in the fourth inning, so only 2-0 Braves up over Arizona in the desert. I think Christian Walker is as advertised. And if the Diamondbacks decide to sell at the deadline, Christian Walker is a huge get if you can afford him.
I would like to see
Paging
him. I
Seattle
would like to
Mariners,
see.
paging Seattle Mariners.
They're not going to do it.
I would like to see Naylor and Walker both be those 7th and 8th spots in the home run derby.
Ooh.
Ooh. Christian Walker, Josh Naylor.
I would like to have those two be the
Ooh, that'd
last
be
two. Hey,
Little
if they're
big
not
smashing first baseman.
well, and if they're not going to be on the All-Star rosters, have them included in All-Star Weekend at least.
Looking,
Schultze, you got anybody?
I mean, there's not looking. I guess I hate to stick in in my own division with my Seattle Mariners, but Brent Rooker for the A's sticks out to me. I mean,
Yeah.
18
I would agree.
homers, almost 280.
I
I know
would
he's on
agree.
a crappy team, but he's got great numbers. That's what you include in the All-Star game, guys with great numbers, right?
I know, and I feel sometimes guys like Brent Rooker, guys like Munoz, guys like Christian Walker because of Ketel Marte, that don't get in because they're looking at it like, well, Seattle's got a guy. Oakland's got a guy.
Yeah.
Arizona's got a guy. So we don't got to add. Those are bad teams. We don't got to add, which is funny because one of those is leading their division. But they look at it like, well, we don't got to add anybody because we already got our one delegate. This isn't when, you remember that, who was the first baseman for the Royals? Kind of like a big fat guy first baseman.
Billy Butler.
Yeah.
I was
Billy
just
Butler,
thinking of him
thank you.
before you even brought
Billy
him up.
Butler
Billy
made the
Butler.
All-Star
Solid
game
goatee.
for the
Former Mariner.
first year that everyone had to have a representative. Everybody's like, this guy's terrible. But Brent Rooker, Mason Miller,
Yeah.
those are two deserved All-Stars. Logan Gilbert, Anthony Munoz, deserved All-Stars. Ketel Marte, Christian Walker, deserved All-Stars. Let's kick that S out of here and give guys that need to get in.
You know what's bizarre is Billy Butler feels like he's been out of the league for 10 years. It says here on Google he's only 38.
Yeah, I believe he. I mean, he
He's
was
about
with
to
the
come to my high
Mariners.
school reunion.
His last year was 2016.
Was that with Seattle, or did he go back to
His
Kansas
last
City?
year, he hasn't played
In 8
for
seasons.
8 years, and he's a year younger than me.
He stopped playing at 30.
Welcome to MLB, guys. So many players have great
Meanwhile,
starts.
Verlander is still
And
kicking
just
it around.
fell off.
Yikes. All right, well, that's the All-Star game. They'll be for you on Tuesday. Home Run Derby on Monday, and we'll be here next week. Well, Joe and Schultze will be here next week to talk to you about the All-Star game as it's going live. Maybe I'll call in. Tell you what, Joe. Maybe
will
I'll
not.
call in.
You will not.
Maybe I will. I've done it in the past.
No, you haven't.
Maybe I will.
You have not called in the past.
All right.
I should have called you guys when I was sitting inside of Fenway for a 2-hour rain delay while you guys were on the air. I should have done it. I don't know why I didn't.
Should have done it. Should have done it.
Should've done it.
All right, when we come back, is this really good team actually really bad plus bad management and fair or foul? We got a loaded second hour. Don't go anywhere. Hot corner today, the fan.
Did you know the
Hot Corner, you're missing the first hour. You download that at the Fan Podcast at 10thefan.com or the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, just a reminder, check out the new gear in the Fan merch locker at 10thefan.com. We got the Dirt and Sprague Bacon and Football shirts, the Danny and Dusty Absolute Unit shirts. We also have the limited edition friend of ours show, Mike Lynch approved, help Mike take a swinge against ALS. I almost bought one today. I'm going to probably buy one tomorrow.
You know, I'm pissed that I didn't get one in time for the Fan Golf Classic because I definitely would have rocked it out on the course.
Yeah, I will probably buy
one time Langdon will allow someone not with a polo out on the course.
Because you're like, yo, dude, ALS. And they're like,
hey,
all right, we'll let it go.
Do you have any context, any idea of what this is?
High quality tees, cost is just $25. Get your classic fan tees now. Look for the Fan merch locker at 10thefan.com. Plus, we do have the Fan Golf Classic. Excuse me, I had to burp there. Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms on Thursday. Joe Fisher will be there. Schultze, you making an appearance?
Oh, yeah, I live in Wilsonville. I mean, that's 10 minutes away
You're
from
like,
my door.
I'll hit a drive to Langdon Farm and just hitch a ride on that ball.
Exactly. As long as somebody gives me a free beer.
I was going to be there, but unfortunately I won't.
I will be golfing with the general manager of your Portland Pickles.
Woo!
Yes. I'm also going to be
That's pretty cool.
golfing with Jeremiah Coughlin, a local comedian. He's been on Danny and Dusty a couple times. And then the fourth guy that's in our group, I forget what his name is or what his role is with the Pickles, but he is
Great
a
radio.
6 handicap.
Whoa.
Dang.
Jeremiah Coughlin, on the other hand, just started golfing a few months ago. So I am very curious to see the disparity in skill between our best player and quite possibly our worst player.
Well, just put some Chair Razor IPAs from Stormbreaker Brewing that we are enjoying right now, the official IPA of the Pickles.
Stormbreaker will be there as well.
Stormbreaker will be there. Rob, Dan, known those guys for a long time. My wife and I actually went there and had lunch on the 4th of July. We took our dog. We sat on their beautiful patio in Mississippi.
Mississippi?
Yeah, we went to the
North
Mississippi
North
location.
Portland, St. John's, or Mississippi?
Yeah, I went to the Mississippi location, and that's that. All right, enough free press for everyone, okay, right? I got a question for you guys. So at the beginning of the season, we were up at Fan Madness at A-Lene, our gambling friends up there in North Vancouver.
Yeah, you saw a gambling friend that looked like he was going through it and possibly losing his mortgage.
Still is. I was there the other day for a bachelor party, and guess what? He was there.
Dead eyes.
Dead eyes. Dead eyes. Well, they were winning at the
Hi,
craps
Patrick.
table.
How are you doing?
They were winning at the craps table, so I think he was feeling all right at that moment, but who knows what 2 hours later said.
Yay. I'm only $25,000 in debt tonight.
But I was up there and I saw an over-under win total for a baseball team at 92.5, and I said, good God, 92.5? That's what Vegas wants? I threw a fat 20 down on that. About 3 weeks ago, I was really scared that bet was gone. In fact, I was so scared that I ripped that bet up.
Did you really?
I can't find it.
Oh.
I ripped it up and threw it in the garbage can. My friends, that was the New York Yankees. Since then, they have lost 14 of their last 18 games, whatever it might be.
I believe as of today, it is.
Because they lost to the Rays today.
Yes, they did.
I watched that game.
16 of 21.
16 of 21. And my friends, I sit here and I ask you, are these New York Yankees in a slump? Is this a July dog days of summer kind of thing? Or has this team finally come back down to earth?
Boy, I would say that everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Their 3 hottest hitters of the season are not hitting at all right now.
But what's funny, you say what could go wrong has go wrong. And I would say what prevents the Yankees from winning 92.5 games? I'd be like, well, Judge got hurt. Judge is not hurt.
See, this
Judge is healthy.
And this is
Soto is healthy. Stanton's hurt, but whatever. We expected
He's
that.
always hurt.
This is very similar to the 2022 season. You had Judge going off breaking Roger Maris's record, and you had a Yankees team that started off
Single-season home run champion.
You had a
Both leagues.
Yankees team that started off amazing and hobbled to the finish line of the regular season.
And didn't make the playoffs.
No, they made the playoffs.
Did
that
they
year.
in 2022?
Yeah, they made the
Okay.
playoffs. They just didn't do anything in the playoffs. I want to say that.
They lost to the Twins. The Twins got them that year.
Was it the Twins?
Maybe.
I'll
look it up.
I was gonna
You-
say I felt like the Twins. The Twins don't ever win in the playoffs.
You
They
talk.
always make
I'll
the
look it up.
playoffs. They probably lost to the Astros, is what it was. If it was 2022, because that's the years that the Astros won. Correct? What's happening?
I don't know.
I
You
s-
talk. I'll look it up.
I smell burnt toast.
The Yankees beat the Guardians, lost to the Astros, swept.
Gotcha. So this reminds me of that season. The problem is, though, is that literally your three hottest hitters right now are pure trash. Judge is like 2 of 20 entering today. I don't know what he did today at the plate. Soto has been cold the last couple of weeks. I think since July, he only had like the beginning of July, he has like 4 total hits. And then Volpe is a shell of himself. I want to say over the last month, I was reading an article today, he has an OPS of like 438 or something. And not only are those 3 guys just not hitting, but they're just having dumb brain fart plays. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've seen the Trent Grisham play.
Yep.
Anthony Volpe not scoring against the Red Sox
That's a bad one.
on Sunday when
When you're bad and the Red Sox beat you, that heightens it.
not just beat you, sweep you. And then there was one other play that I'm spacing on, but it's just like someone didn't hustle on a ground ball as well. I'm forgetting what player it was. It was like it's just everything they're doing, whether it's base running, whether it's fielding, whether it's hitting, it's all going wrong right now. So it's just a matter of like if they're hitting flips and they start putting the bat on the ball again and getting back to how they were at the beginning of the season, then the team is going to be fine.
Well,
Pitching is not going well. I mean, it's literally everything that could go wrong for this team is going wrong.
It's got to be some kind of locker room like vibe happening, because usually when a Trent Grisham play like that happens, which if you did not see it, essentially he very lazily
Dude,
ran up on a
you're
ball that
getting
got hit to
paid
center field.
$5 million a year and you're giving that effort. That is
Yeah.
complete BS.
Ricochets off your glove, you kind of listfully look down, and then the runner's scoring by the time you actually get up, and that's because you gave no effort. When you're not getting pulled like that, I remember way back when B.J. Upton made a very similar low-effort play when he was on the Rays. And guess what? It wasn't Joe Madden that got on his ass. It was Evan freaking Longoria, his teammate, probably the team captain, so to speak. Why wasn't anybody, and maybe they just didn't show it, but I didn't see on Twitter anybody in the dugout getting on Trent Grisham, and frankly, I'm surprised that manager Aaron Boone didn't take his ass or any of the other players that did that out of the game immediately.
Well, and just real quick, Patrick, is that it's funny you mentioned that, Schulte, because a couple weeks ago, I believe Carlos Rodon was starting to get on someone on the team, and Aaron Judge kind of gave him a whole like, no, we don't do that here. We don't, no, that's not. And they reconciled a little bit, Rodon and him, but he very much like gave him a whole like, no, we got to uplift each other kind of talk or something like that. So, I mean,
The hell right out with
I
that.
think I know where you're going with this, Patrick, as far as whose fault you think it is.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
You guys ready?
Yes,
Lay it
I'm
on me.
ready. Take a sip of your chair razor.
I will take a sip here.
How's it taste?
Shining moment.
Great drop, whoever played that. Here's what it is. All right. I saw this the other day. They were talking about Gleyber Torres. Somebody mentioned something that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Gleyber Torres. Why has he not reached his full potential? And then they talked earlier about Gary Sanchez. Why has Gary Sanchez not reached his full potential? To your point about Aaron Judge saying, that's not what we do here. Aaron Judge is saying that's not what we do here because Aaron Judge is the captain. And Aaron Judge is now the spokesperson of the leadership above him. Okay? It's everyone on the Yankees, then it's Aaron Judge, and then it's the brass. Cash, Steinbrenner, Boone, etc. And they have said this is what we do. Nobody is held accountable on the Yankees. Nobody. And the reason is because leadership in that organization has decided that we will coddle our players instead of do the Yankee tradition. George is rolling in his grave right now because what George did and what made the Yankees great is accountability, is step up. If you're not playing well, you deal with it. There is a documentary about Jeter's struggle to keep Alex accountable. That's a documentary.
And it was
okay?
it was Marcus Stroman that Aaron Judge and them two got into it.
Right now, Trent Grisham, Gleyber Torres, I would argue Anthony Rizzo, Trent Grisham for sure. There are a bunch of guys. Josh Donaldson in the past, Gary Sanchez in the past, Harrison Bader in the past. There is nobody on that team willing to call somebody out when they are not doing what they need to do. And that starts first and foremost with the manager. And the Yankees have the worst manager in all of baseball. Aaron Boone is over his skis. He cannot manage. He cannot control the clubhouse. You're looking at guys. You're looking at Juan Soto, all right? You're looking at Aaron Judge. You got Garrett Cole in there, a Cy Young winning, World Series winning, multi-million-dollar pitcher. The inmates are running the asylum. You got some kid, Rice. You better hope that kid is not listening to everybody and fighting for himself.
He's now batting leadoff because they moved Volpe out of the leadoff spot.
This Yankee team is teetering so close to having the inmates run the asylum. And I guarantee you, if guys like Rice and Verdugo, who's been playing pretty well this year, a Marcus Stroman, a Luis Gil, who's a kid, and if Stroman's kind of like, hey, it's kind of effed up what's going on around here, right? And you got some kid that's like, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I'm trying my best, but it feels like nobody's helping me. And Stroman's like, yeah, right? And then they talk to Cole, who's like, hey, man, I know you're coming back, but, like, you're with us, right? And he's like, yeah, I kind of am. Like, this thing is so close to losing everything. It's the Steinbrenner's fault. It's Cashman's fault. But more importantly, it's Aaron Boone. I want to be on TV. I want to be a Yankee coach. I want everyone to think that my Yankees are buttoned up and professionals, and that's what we do. No. In baseball, you call guys out. When people aren't playing well, you tell them they're not playing well. You support them, but you tell them, look at Trey Turner. Trey Turner hit a grand slam tonight for the Phillies. He's struggled off and on the last couple years, and those fans got their back, got his back. Because they criticized him, he took it. His players criticized him, he took it. His manager criticized him, he took it. This is just a bunch of soft, coddling BS, and that's why the Yankees are not good. And I wish I wouldn't have ripped up that ticket because this team is failing, and this team could continue to fail because I don't know who's out in the trade deadline that's going to make you better. Rant over.
Do you remember the over-under win total that you got it at?
92.5.
So they are 55-38. Let's do some quick math here, which is a tough thing for me to do. 55-38. That is 93. So we are just under 70 games, 69. Nice games left in the season. So that means under 92.
92.5.
Under 92.5. So they would have to win 37 out of their 69, and you would still hit that ticket. So they would go 37-32.
Don't gamble, kids. Don't gamble.
Which at this point, the way that they're playing, 37-32, I mean, I think they would take that.
I think they would too. All right. When we come back, we got a new front runner for worst manager in baseball. We'll do that next. Hot Corner, 10 of the Fan.
The Blazers are dealing.
To have a moment where you're hoping something happens and then it actually does. Everyone's just happy.
What's the next move?
Jeremy Grant is not going to put you over the top by like you're going to compete. He might be good for 3 or 4 wins next year.
1080 The Fan.
Welcome into the mothership, Star Child. Oh, Parliament. Well, all right. I love this. What the fuck? Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get into Fair or Foul, everybody's favorite at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, as we do every single Tuesday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. I will remind you that I will be out for the next couple weeks. I'm going to Disneyland, my friends, so you got a Schultze and Fisher to take care of you. Joe, you should go find somebody to come sit in with you. Get wild.
Dude,
Make
I would.
Brandon Sprague come in.
That's not going to happen.
He texts in, he texts us, he tells us we're stupid, we're idiots, we don't know anything about baseball. Make him come in and own up.
I would love to have my brother-in-law come and do a show because that guy, Braves fan, was a dominant pitcher in high school.
Ooh.
All state for the Wilsonville Wildcats. Dude's got some nasty stuff, some nasty junk, and I appreciate his baseball mind more than anybody out there. But he lives out in the fine town of Willamina, which I believe is from this location probably an hour 15,
5, hour 10,
something like that. I mean, it's Spirit Mountain Casino essentially is where he's by.
Oh, actually,
so.
no, it might be closer to an hour and a half because we're talking
Excuse me, he looks really hot.
downtown all the way to Willamina.
Yeah, you either got to go past the federal prison and then hang a right.
Yep.
On the
into
exit.
the entrance, sign a form, and they'll let him out.
Yeah, we'll call him and have
Negotiate
him on
that
for 5
release.
minutes because that's the only amount of time he's allowed on there.
One of the funniest things we love to do in in sports, whether you listen to the boys in the morning, Danny and Dusty in the afternoon in prime time, or get a little sports Sunday in your pants or a little hot corner here, is we love talking about owners and how they just can't get out of their own way. And it's so funny to us, us little small children here in the 23rd largest market of sports
yourself.
media, that I have to believe we would all run sports teams better than these guys do. They just can't get out of their own way, right?
Yeah, I would like to believe if I had billions of dollars, I'd be like, hey, how about I just spend money?
Yeah.
How about, I don't think being cheap is going to get me anywhere unless I am a broke bastard, then being cheap is going to help me out. But if I have billions of dollars.
The Fisher family name in Oakland is not doing you any favors.
No, it is not. But it is Fisher without a C.
That is true.
The C stands for cheap.
I believe in Fishers with a C.
And so, yeah. There are owners out there where it's just like you realize that you are making hand over fist with having a sports team. It is one of the best investments that you could have is having a sports team.
It's the truth. God, I would do anything.
So,
Right.
If I could buy out Merritt Paulson right now, I'd do it.
I'd
without a doubt.
I'd be a stump. No arms, no legs if I could own the
I like
Seattle
that you said
Mariners.
stump, the timbers, the log, the saw. I like what
there
you
you
did
go.
there.
Cheeky.
I like what you said there. That's a soccer term.
That's like a British term too, right?
Yeah, you guys are being cheeky. Little cheeky talk.
So yeah, I don't know why owners can't just open up their wallets because you got to spend money to make money. And again, you really don't have to spend money at all in major sports to make money, which is exactly what the Pittsburgh Pirates owner is doing. Do you know his name by chance, Patrick?
No, not at all.
It's Bob Nutting. Just
Rough.
a rough last name. Yeah,
Rough.
Nutting.
His trip through school must have been hell.
I was informed of old Mr. Nutting earlier this year when a fine texter on the Vancouver Ford text line, I believe we were talking about the Oakland A's situation and how John Fisher sucks and how he's one of the worst owners and how he's cheap. And then we already knew that the Pirates were cheap. We just didn't have a name and a face to this Pirates ownership group.
It's like I knew the A's were bad, but I didn't know that there was a guy named Fisher that ran it. Otherwise, I'd be killing you for years, Joe.
Yeah.
If I would have known that, Joe, I would have destroyed you for years.
And I would have made sure to lament time and time and again.
Hey,
it is
I've
not
got
the
a
same
C.
spelling.
He
all right?
doesn't have a C, but I would have still said that's semantics. And your family is trash.
C for contender.
Except for Medium Joe and Joe 2.
A C for champion.
It was clearly only related to Joe the 3rd.
Didn't Fisher buy the team after Moneyball? Like, I think that's like, because I thought that it was some other cheap owner, and now this is the second cheap owner.
I'll
that
bet you
A's
the
have had to
A's
deal
have been
with.
cheap owners since Reggie Jackson went to the Yankees.
That's a good point, actually.
They even won a World Series in the late 80s, early 90s. I'll bet you they were cheap then. They just found some steroid dudes and Dennis Eckersley.
It's fair.
He is also former part owner of the San Francisco Giants, John Fisher. But this segment isn't about him.
We're derailing.
It's about Mr. Nutting, okay?
The nut.
But apparently the front office in Pittsburgh is pissed at old Bob because this was his remarks to the press about the trade deadline coming up. And the Pirates, they have a bright future ahead of them.
They do.
right?
O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, they locked up.
Paul Skeens and Jared
Skeens.
Jones, who both have smoking hot girlfriends.
Skeens' girlfriend, who I'm more excited about than Skeens.
Yeah, instead of the All-Star game, can it just be a Livy Dunn just doing the splits for like 3.5
She
hours?
is back at LSU next year for fifth year of gymnastics, so we do get to see that.
She ain't going to play. She's just on the gram.
But Bob said, I'm not all sure that we won't have opportunities well in advance of the deadline. I think we should be prepared to move early. I think we should be prepared to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. I know Ben that has that flexibility to look across a broader range of alternatives, options, but also a timeline of when it makes sense to strike. The comment made members of the Pirates front office, quote, furious. One member of the team's baseball operations told Pittsburgh Baseball they felt Nutting's comments were misleading at best. And Bob, the person under the condition of anonymity, said he could speak freely without facing repercussions. Said Bob implied we're going to have money to spend, and he got the fans excited. But he told us we don't have any money to make any significant additions. So again, telling the fan base one thing to, get their hopes up and make the Pirates think like, oh, hey, we might actually be trying to build a winner here. And then literally going back and telling the front office and the guys that are supposed to build the team, no, you're not going to do squadoosh, as Patrick Harris says.
I'm going to stick up for the nut right here and say, we're going to do the best for the team. We're going to do everything we got. This is the greatest team you've ever seen.
We have billions and billions of dollars.
Well, welcome to being a Mariners
find the
fan,
right
Pittsburgh.
guy that fits in, but realistically, I'm actually pulling a fast one on all of you, and we're going to do nothing. And I'm going to get revenue sharing.
Second
so,
lowest
adios.
payroll in baseball behind the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, he's like, why should I spend money when I can say, hey, take a shot with what we have, and Paul Skeens and O'Neill Cruz can sell bobbleheads, and if we come up short, we'll say, shucks, at least we tried. At least we tried.
We went all out. We did what we could.
So I just want
Trusted our
to,
players.
I wanted to bring this story to the people because I know that we love to hate billionaires and rich owners that are spoiled little brats. And while we've been absolutely ripping on John Fisher because of his terrible handling of the Oakland Athletics and what he's been doing with that team, it is about time that we well know Bob Nutting's name for being just as terrible of an owner.
Yeah, we'll get out of here on this real quick. If we put
Such a punchable face,
If we
too.
put Fisher aside, because he's obviously the worst in baseball, is the nut the worst?
I don't
outside of him?
I don't like you
I
referring
mean,
to him as the nut.
I hate Paul Dolan in
I looked.
Cleveland.
Bob,
I hate Paul Dolan in Cleveland.
he is a absolute ass. Bob Nutting's net worth is $1 billion, by the way, at least
course.
according to Google.
Bob Nutting has the look
like 10 billion. You don't know. You haven't seen my books.
in like
Swiss bank accounts.
75 to 80% of pictures of Bob Nutting, it looks like he either just crapped himself or he is smelling a fart. Like it is just
Maybe
this
he's
smug,
smelling a
just
nut.
okay, yeah.
Maybe he's got nut
That's
all
a little
over his
stinky.
face.
I think I might have touched cloth on that.
Maybe
one.
he's got nut all over his face. Like, did you think about that?
Jerry
Little
Reinsdorf has got to be
cashew.
on the list.
Be careful.
Reinsdorf has rings, though.
Yeah, but he has run since the Ozzie Guillen times.
I know, but he's got rings.
Okay, well then John Stanton for the Mariners too. My bias is sneaking in there, but
God,
the
I hate-
comments that he made in the offseason, literally months after, telling Jerry DiPoto, hey, we are going to be able to go all in on this. Nope. It's, a lot
I
of Mariners
hate
fans
Paul
are out
Dolan.
on it.
Jeffrey Lorie's got to be up there, too.
Is he still
Let's
in
not
the league?
forget. Lorie's the Marlins. He's still there.
What? No. Lord.
He's got to be.
No.
Anyway.
Jeets bought him, and then they've been sold since then.
Oh,
Laurie's
okay.
not there
All right.
anymore.
Well, either way, there's still, no matter what sport you like, we like baseball, and there's still crappy owners in baseball. So congratulations to you, billionaires, for being the worst people on the planet. Let's get out of here. Let's do some fair or foul. But first, there's Schultze with sports.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Seattle Mariners in San Diego for a mini get-right series, game one of a two-game set against the Padres. Right now, down at Petco Park, the Mariners absolutely slamming San Diego down. 7-1 the score, bottom 7, 2 outs now. Logan Gilbert absolutely spinning a gem. Just 2 hits so far, only the 1 earned run and 5 strikeouts. Cal Raleigh hitting 2 two-run bombs. Julio Rodriguez going 4 for 4, has an RBI single and a solo jack in there as well. Once again, M's leading 7-1 over San Diego in the bottom of the 7th. And breaking news out of the Dominican Republic tonight, Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco has been formally charged with sexual abuse and exploitation against a minor. He's been on administrative leave since the allegations became public in August of 2023. And in international soccer, Argentina beating Canada 2-0 in their Copa America semifinal matchup. They're now awaiting the winner of Uruguay and Colombia. Spain also downing France 2-1 in the Euro Championship semifinals tonight. They're facing off against the Netherlands or England. They match up tomorrow at noon. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Live, local, and free. No subscription required. Portland's sports leader is
at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. Without further ado, we're already behind it. Let's pass it over to our fantastic producer, Chelsea.
Hold on, I have one thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I just said that because we were behind it.
You're
Thanks,
so
Joe.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
just
Joe.
push me farther behind. I will go as fast as I can, but it is hot out. All right, how about some more vocal improvisation for us, Patrick? Ready, go. All right, I'll move on. I have nothing to match that.
I am 1080 the fan.
I will say something dirty and end up getting fired. All right, guys, fair or foul number 1. A player having a very good, I would say, bounce-back season after a couple of down years. Former MVP Christian Yelich for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Love Yelich.
He's been batting well this year. So, guys, fair or foul, was looking at his career statistics compared to this year. Fair or foul, Milwaukee Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich has the highest batting average of his career so far this season. So, to this point in 2024, I am saying fair or foul. It is higher than any of his other years of batting average in Major League Baseball.
I'm going to say fair because the last time I checked, the dude was batting like 320 or something like that. Like 315, 320, 324. I felt like Schultz was just about to give me a nod like, yup, you're right.
Yeah,
Yep, you
yeah,
nailed it, bud.
yeah.
Yeah, Christian Yelich, I think this is fair. Best average of his career so far.
You know what's funny is I've always loved Christian Yelich. When he was on Miami before he got traded to Milwaukee, I was in a fantasy league, a keeper league that actually dissolved. And my two guys were this young outfielder for the Marlins named Christian Yelich and this young starter for the Rays named Blake Snell. And I was like, this team is on the right path. And then it dissolved. I love Christian Yelich. I am so happy he is an all-star starter. I think he has finally come into it. Injuries have played a part in it. And also he's on a Brewers team that is kind of like a grind kind of team. You know, he has been forced to be a grind kind of player and not an average home run guy that we thought he was when he was a kid. I'll join Joe in this. I think I'm wrong, but I'll join Joe in this just out of how much I love Christian Yelich. I'll say fair.
Nice. You guys both got it tonight. He is batting .331, so actually even way higher than you were saying, Joe, when you saw him at .315 or .320.
He was a trade
331.
candidate. He was a trade candidate at the beginning of the season. People thought the Brewers weren't going to be good. And here they are in first place, and part of that is Christian Yelich. I looked at it and was like, if Yelich is on the board, go get him. Go get him. And I'll tell you what, the Brewers right now are not trading Christian Yelich.
I know they're looking pretty smart because they probably wouldn't have given him up for much.
No, I think you could have got him in the offseason this year. I think you got him pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, he's hitting .331 through 67 games so far this season. Back in 2019, he hit .329. That is his highest career batting average to this point. Season before hit .326.
He's an MVP, and let's not forget, they were like 3 outs from a World Series before the Dodgers got him. I believe the COVID year. I believe that's what it was.
That sounds about right. And he hit 12 homers
Or
that
2021,
year.
I'm not sure. Maybe it might be the year they lost. I think it's 19. I think it's the year they lost to the Nationals. The Dodgers did in the NLCS. But I think the Brewers were ready to beat the Dodgers to go to the NLCS, and they lost in the end.
All right, let's move on to fair or foul question number 2, featuring Joe's Baltimore Orioles, because
Joe's
of course it is. Well, it's about home runs, so
My
it kind of has
Joes.
to. It kind of has to feature the Orioles because they're slamming them.
Joes.
Slamming lots of whammies this year.
Slamming dongs.
That's right. Big dongs. The Marlins slamming smaller amounts of dongs. But the Baltimore Orioles, first in MLB in home runs, have double the amount of dongs as the last place team, the Miami Marlins. Fair or foul?
I'm going to go fair just because that'd be cool. I believe in my O's. I'm Joe Fisher, and I approve of this message. This paid for the Joe Fisher for the Baltimore Orioles Foundation.
I will also say fair, and mostly for a different reason. I don't care about Joe's O's, but I do like Joe's kids, your real kids and your O's kids.
Kids, plural.
I will say this is fair, mostly because I believe this is one of those preseason things that I was wrong. I think I remember talking about, like, them Marlins, they're going to be pesky. Boy, they're bad. They're bad. And the best trade piece they have is not exciting. I think that team is so bad compared to what we thought they could have been.
Who's their
Little-
trade piece?
A little Jazz Chisholm.
Chisholm.
I'd say Tanner Scott.
They won't trade him.
I think they
He's
should.
under control.
They should.
They're like, we'll hold on to Tanner Scott.
They should.
I already gave up Birdie.
They'll trade him in 2 years because then they realize they're still bad. I'll say yes, because I think what's more surprising is not that the Orioles are this good and hitting this many home runs. I think what's surprising is the Marlins are this bad.
Oh, yeah, Joe already answered. Sorry, he just because it would be fun. I kind of forgot that. My bad. It is fair. You guys both nailed it. Baltimore hits 147 home runs so far this season. Miami hitting 73, so double that would be 146.
That team's bad.
Unbelievable.
Like, Oakland,
Fisher, 2 for 2 today.
Oakland, Colorado, Chicago. I know those teams are bad, but we know why they're bad. I don't know why Miami is bad. But they
Skip
are
just
bad.
won Manager of the Year, so yeah, like last year, I don't really know.
They're
It's a good question.
just bad.
All right, let's move to the other coast. The Los Angeles Dodgers, of course, in first place in the NL West, leading the Padres by 7 games. But it ain't all roses for them right now. They've got some issues, namely with pitchers being injured, and I'm talking like half their pitching staff.
And half of their starters. Bobby Miller got lit today.
Yes, he did. And
Again.
He has not had a great season. I think his ERA is like something like 7 or 8 after that.
Oh, I'm aware. 3 fantasy teams. I'm aware.
So sorry. Tyler Glasnow going on the
2
IL.
of them are keepers.
Bobby Miller. Where is he? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously. Tyler Glasnow on the IL today as well with back issues. And
Which is too bad because he probably could have been the starter for the National League.
You're right. And then they also already have Bueller and Yamamoto on the shelf as well. So they are dealing with thankfully, Gavin Stone, who I had no idea who he was, and Landon Mack.
On a fantasy team, Gavin Stone.
Yeah,
Gavin
yeah,
Stone.
Stone
Gavin
and
Stone.
Look at the
Mack.
roller
Gavin
coaster
Stone.
of emotions
Yeah,
happening
right.
now.
The Doyers.
The Doyers season would be in the Esser if it weren't for these 2 no-name pitchers, because they have been holding steady at a 2+, 3-ish ERA, getting them wins, and then rounding out with James Paxton basically being relevant, with a 4 ERA and
The big maple.
allowing them to stay in it. But guys, with all of these injuries, fair or foul, the Dodgers need to trade for a starting pitcher by the deadline.
I'll start with this. I think the situation they're going through right now is an embarrassment of riches. I think Walker was going to struggle this year, whether it was out of the gate or go on the DL, things like that. I think Walker was going to struggle because it's going to take him some time to get back. Like, Tyler Glasnow had Tommy John, and it took him a little bit on Tampa to figure it out. And when he got to LA, he was like, hey, I'm ready to go, and looks great. I think it's an embarrassment of riches. I think we're a little over our skis worrying about the Dodger starting pitching. At the beginning of the year, I was very critical of it. I didn't know what Yamamoto would be. I thought Kershaw was toast. I loved Miller and I loved Glasnow, but I didn't love anybody else. But Gavin Stone has come through. The Big Maple has been serviceable.
Yeah, doing what he does.
I think this team is going to be fine, assuming Glasnow, Yamamoto, and Bueller are not long-term serious things. Because if they get those guys back with Kershaw and Miller or Stone, you've got a 6-man rotation. And the only team I know that has a better, if fully healthy rotation than the Dodgers is the Seattle Mariners.
I'm going to say foul that they will not make a move, I believe was how the question
they
was
need
formed.
to. So, yeah, fair,
Okay,
either
yes.
way.
Foul. Because they're going to get a lot of these guys back by the end of the season. I think they're similar to this team that is on the TV right now, the Atlanta Braves. Just weather the storm, get to the playoffs, get Yoshi back, get Walker back, possibly get Clayton Kershaw back, which, once it gets to the playoffs, I mean, God only knows what you're going to get there.
Bring him out of the pen.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
But Roberts won't do that because he's almost as bad as Boone.
So I think it's a matter of,
Almost.
weather the storm, get to the finish line of the season, and then see where, well, you can't really see where you're at then. But, again, I think that Patrick is right. It's embarrassment of riches in that you have guys that are banged up, they're bruised, but it's nothing you haven't dealt with before. In years past, they've had a lot of injuries like this in the pitching staff, and I think they'll get through it.
Gavin Stone's been cool.
Can I just add?
Gavin Stone's been really cool for them.
Technically, Otani's playing, but as far as pitching goes, he is on the 60-day injured list because he is not done recovering from Tommy John
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, next year you got Otani coming back. Let's not forget Mays coming back.
Yeah,
Gonsolin's coming back. Like,
Clayton
this team
Kershaw's
is
still on the IL.
stupid.
They've literally got 4 starting pitchers that are not pitching right now. That's fascinating.
4 potential aces.
Yeah, all could
Wow,
be aces.
3 and Clayton Kershaw, a first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the best lefty we've ever seen.
But
Yeah.
still, by the end of the season, this team can have a fully healthy Walker Buehler, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Tyler Glasnow going into the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys are right. Embarrassment of riches.
I think you'll be good.
I mean, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Stone, Miller, Kershaw. Like, I'm only scared of the Mariners, but I'm not scared because their team hits, like me.
By the way, on the Mariners, on pace to literally have the worst batting average of any team of all time.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. I have never hit someone in my entire life, and I have a higher batting average than the Seattle Mariners.
That is
I'm aware of this.
not anecdotal. They are literally on pace to have the worst combined team batting average in a single season of any team ever.
Imagine if they win the division.
People were looking at like them having the worst batting average of their own franchise history, which is only 50, 70 years long. No,
All the
now,
teams.
all
We're
ever.
looking at all time.
All time in ever, Brian, in ever.
In ever.
All right, and guys, fourth fair or foul question to wrap it up is about my Seattle Mariners.
Opening day, and here's the first pitch, and the season's over.
Sounds a lot like my baseball fandom. Mariners do lead right now over the Padres, bottom 8, 7-1. Cal Raleigh has actually gone off tonight for 2 two-run whammies. And Julio Rodriguez going off tonight as well. 4 hits so far. 4 for 4, actually. A solo jack, which was a long bomb. Looked like he put a lot into that swing, and then a couple of RBIs as well, a double and a single. But guys, Julio seems to be so up and down at the plate this year, hitting .256, hit his 9th home run today with that solo jack. You all made the comment last week that the home run derby seems to charge him up, so I ask you, fair or foul, Julio, there's 2 more slots to go in the home run derby. He should participate in this year's home run derby. He only has 9 home runs, though. Fair or foul?
Foul. He had his moment last year in Seattle. I think you can have some other dudes that are more deserving of it this year.
Are you talking about deserving, or are you talking about how this would engage Julio?
And it kind of did last year. After the All-Star break, home run derby, he got out of his slump a little bit. But again, I just think that the moment worked for him as well, just being in Seattle, the All-Star game. So
Now, I would say that I would love to see Julio in this home run derby. However, I would like to not see Julio in this home run derby, and here's why. I would love to see him not play in it because I need him to focus.
Yeah,
I need him to stop swinging.
I hear you there.
Here's the Julio pitching method. Slider outside, fastball inside, strikeout.
Done.
I need to not see that. I need him to focus on how to get outside of that. However, if I'm Major League Baseball, put Julio Rodriguez in the home run derby. Without a doubt. Put him with Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt. Put him with the kids. Like, he was an amazing display last year. Julio and Adley Rutschman were the 2 best players in the home run derby last year. Who won? Don't know, don't care, because I will remember Adley from the left side, and I'll remember Julio in 1 round. Put him in. And honestly, he's been so challenging this year as a hitter that who cares if he regresses, because he can't regress more than he already has.
And he hasn't had a hit in ever. In ever, Jerry. In ever.
That's actually a good point. No, he really...
Why not?
Couldn't play worse.
Hey, baseball. Pump baseball.
And
And
he,
Julio and Bobby and Gunnar, pump them.
he is that young, exciting
Pump 'em.
talent that's perfect
Pump
for
'em.
this kind of event.
Pump them up.
That's all I got for you guys.
All right, that is Fair or Foul. We do it every single Tuesday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. We come back, we'll wrap this bad boy up. Hot Corner today, the Fan.
Got a smart speaker?
I'm hoping.
I just want to say really quickly that I'm very glad we're playing Shakedown Street by the Grateful Dead coming back into this. On this day in 1995, Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois, is the last time the Grateful Dead played a live show with Jerry Garcia. He had to take a step away from the band, and in about a month, he died.
Isn't that an ice cream?
No, that's Cherry Garcia. By the friends over there at Ben and Jerry's.
My my only little Jerry Garcia nugget that I have is that he was in Half Baked. Might have not even been him, honestly. Actually, it was probably an actor pretending to be.
It was an actor pretending because Jerry Garcia died in 1995.
That's right.
And Half Baked came
Actually,
out.
now that I think about it, the joke in Half Baked is that the dude has a...
It was in a premonition. It was a dream.
Yeah, and I think he has Jerry Garcia's ashes in like a little leather pouch in a necklace around his neck.
Yeah, so Jerry Garcia's last show for the Grateful Dead was today, July 9th of 1995. I believe he died August 3rd, but his birthday is something like that, and then we have the days between. So it's a big Grateful Dead celebration in early August.
When is it
of the
not
5
a Grateful
days
Dead celebration?
Of the 5 days between Jerry's death and Jerry's birthday are called the days between.
I feel like you could literally find something for every single day. Like, oh yeah, January 18th, this is the day.
We celebrate everything.
Oh yeah, May 14th, this is the day.
Hey man, join the bus. It's all right.
Hop
Come
on.
I'll get to the next one.
Hop up.
Have fun, brother. Gonna
Thanks.
miss you.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
The mouse got you. The mouse is gonna spank you, bend
Thanks, I'm
you
a little
over
jelly.
their knee,
Thanks,
and
guys.
spank your ass and take you for everything that you have.
I'll tell you what, I will keep my eyes out for little things for you two, all right? Maybe I'll bring you back some little
Stop
treasures.
by the magic shop. You'll have a fun
Bring me
time.
back a turkey leg.
Turkey leg. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back next week. Joe and Schultz will hold it down at All-Star break. Let you know how the game goes as they'll be live on TV as the game's going on, and they'll tell you about the first half of the season. Looking forward to the second half season. When I come back, we'll take care of it. But for Joe Fisher, Schultz on the ones and twos, I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
The mountain isn't just for skiing or snowboarding. It's for golfing. At Mount Hood Oregon Resort, experience our 3 9-hole courses, Pine Cone, Thistle, or Foxglove, in an unmatched Pacific Northwest setting. Surrounded by skyscraping hillsides filled with Doug fir.